What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. So I finally decided to switch from the iPhone 12 to the Samsung Galaxy S21 as my main phone. The last time I've used the Samsung phone as my main phone was the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, so about 3 years ago. But I feel that the S21 Samsung actually got more things right than they did wrong. The first thing they got right was the price, so now the base model S21 is the same price as the base model iPhone 12. But since Samsung has a variety of promotions every time they launch a new device, I was actually able to get this one cheaper than the iPhone 12. So that's definitely a plus. So I feel that with the S21 you do get more for your money. The first thing you get more is the internal storage. So the S21 gets 128 gigs of internal storage, where the iPhone 12 only gets 64 gigs of internal storage. If you want more storage, obviously you have to pay more. Now, I don't think 64 gigs of internal storage is enough anymore, so you definitely need to spend the extra money and buy the more expensive iPhone 12. Now, I also know that Samsung removed the SD card slot, and I know that a lot of people were big fans of that SD card slot, but since I haven't actually used an SD card in any phone in like 3 years, I don't think that's a big deal. There is also a bigger screen on the S21 than the screen that we get on the iPhone 12, and even though the phone has the larger screen, it actually feels smaller when you hold it in your hand. And of course that has a lot to do with the fact that the phone it's not as wide as the iPhone 12. So I feel that it's easier doing things with one hand, like typing or opening apps and using apps on the S21. The S21 also has a higher refresh rate, so if you're playing games, you're gonna notice that if you scroll through your Facebook feed, and even though I know that a lot of people aren't using Facebook anymore, it is a better experience scrolling up and down whenever you're doing certain things. Of course, if you're just watching videos, you're not really gonna notice a difference. I was also able to customize how the screen looks on the S21. When you first get the phone out of the box, the screen is super vibrant, super vivid, and I don't necessarily like that super saturated look. But yes, you can customize the way the screen looks like. So now I'm kind of happy with the way the screen on my S21 looks when compared to the iPhone 12, because the iPhone 12 doesn't actually allow you to change anything about the screen. The S21 also charges faster than the iPhone 12, so I can charge the S21 from 0 to 100 in about 20 minutes less than I can charge the iPhone 12. And I know 20 minutes doesn't sound like a lot unless you only have 20 minutes, then you're definitely gonna notice a difference. Now for battery life, they're pretty similar. I feel that to the S21 you get about half an hour to an hour more than you'd get from the iPhone 12, so not that big of a difference. They both support wireless charging, but to the S21 you also get reverse wireless charging. And you may not use reverse wireless charging every single day, but every so often you may need to charge your watch or your earbuds if you're not at home. So you can just place those on the back of the S21 and charge them. Well, you cannot do that with the iPhone 12. And that brings us to today's video sponsor, the Ixpand Wireless Charger Sync from SanDisk. So the Ixpand is one of the most unique products that I got to try over the past couple of years. This is the first wireless charger that also backs up all your pictures, videos and contacts right onto this. You can buy this with either 64, 128 or 256 gigs of internal storage. I personally have the version with 256 gigs of internal storage. So all you have to do is place your phone on top of it. Of course, it will charge your phone because this is a wireless charger, and also back up all your pictures and videos at their full resolution. And this way you can save some space on your phone. And you can also make profiles for different users. So if you live with more people in the same house, everyone can use this with their own profile. So very, very unique product. As always, I will leave some links in the video's description just in case you wanna check this out. So let's go back to our video. So the S21 I also get an always-on display, and the iPhone could have had the same thing because they both have AMOLED screens, but I don't think Apple will ever give us an always-on display. And it may not seem like much, but it's so useful just glancing at the phone and seeing if you have any notifications instead of actually turning the screen on. So I find this very, very useful. I used to use this back in the day, but with the iPhone you just don't have that option. Now, we also get a fingerprint scanner on the S21, and because these days everyone has to wear these masks everywhere you go, the face unlocking on the iPhone doesn't necessarily work that well, so most of the time you actually have to type in that passcode. With the S21 you can just touch the screen and unlock it that way with your finger. Now, I have to say that Samsung doesn't make the best fingerprint scanners. There are so many other phones that work much better for that fingerprint scanner. So hopefully that will be improved through a software update or for the next version of the S21, because Samsung does not have the best fingerprint scanner, but still a better option than just having face unlock as we have on the iPhone 12. But let me tell you the real true reason why I'm so tired of the iPhone 12, the 10, the 11, the 7, the 8, because they're all the same. They're all so boring and so restrictive. You cannot do so many things with them. And they have the hardware to do a lot of things. The hardware is so powerful, it's great. This phone feels so much more expensive than the S21 in every single way. But then we have iOS on top of it, and it's so counterproductive for so many things. Look at the home screen here. If you want to see the picture that you have as the wallpaper, you can't exactly do that. You can't have 4 apps at the bottom here and just a widget at the top. No, you need to have the whole screen full of apps because Apple wants you to. If you need to change the wallpaper, you cannot change it from the home screen. You have to go into settings, scroll, look for the wallpaper, change the wallpaper that way. Why? Why do you have to do that? If you find a picture that you took on a year ago, you look through like 100 pictures and you finally found the one that you want to edit, but you don't want to edit that picture with the editing app that the iPhone has built in. You want to use Snapseed, for example. Can you share that picture from the gallery app to Snapseed? No, you cannot. So you have to exit the gallery app on the iPhone, you have to open Snapseed, then you have to scroll through like 100 pictures to find the other picture that you're looking for, and then you can edit that. So all that could have been done in like 2 clicks on any Android device. And this is not the only thing. There are so many other things that I could like keep going and going and going about iPhones. They're just so counterproductive to anything. Everything seems to be more complicated than it is. And I could go on and on about so many other things that you can't exactly do on an iPhone just because of iOS and how restrictive it is. For example, the keyboard, you can't exactly customize it. Sure, you can install a different keyboard, but in reality it's the same Apple keyboard that just looks a bit different. You can't really customize everything as you do on any other Android device. Now, the problem is that a lot of apps work better on iOS. So, just to give you an example, the GoPro app works better on iOS, the Tesla app works better on iOS. So I almost feel like I'm always gonna have to keep an iPhone on the side because just some apps are just so much better. And it's infuriating that you always have to keep 2 phones. You can just keep this one or this one because this one does some things better, this one does some things better. But overall, I still feel that an Android device is much more productive than an iPhone because you can do things so much faster, much easier. Now, if you have a Windows device, for example, it's almost impossible to send pictures from your iPhone to a Windows device. If you have a Mac, sure, it's easy. You just airdrop them and they're right there. So Apple just makes everything so complicated for no reason. So I don't know. For now, I think I'm gonna have to stick with Android once again because iOS is just infuriating to use these days. What are your thoughts about iPhones and Android devices? Which ones do you prefer and why? Definitely leave a comment and let me know. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.